Related to publishing, of course. Okay, great. Thanks, Ben, for the first advice. So we'll be moving on to the second one. So what do you have for us, for the audience who is watching this right now? What's the second advice then?
Right. My second advice is actually to what was my second advice? Sorry, right? Yeah, okay, to stop saying if. Sorry, yeah, thanks so much.
No worries,
I get lost sometimes. So stop saying if, because in the publishing world, and actually in any world, I realize many people like to say if the conditions are such, then I would do this. But you see, we don't live in a world of ifs. Yeah, I used to tutor a boy, sec one. Yeah, I tutored him when he was in sec one, and he would always tell me, Mr. Ben, if I had studied for my PSLE, I would. And he keeps telling me he didn't study for his PSLE because he didn't want to. Now, he's living in a world of ifs, right? If he had studied for PSLE, basically he was trying to tell me that he would have done well, he would have gone to another school, blah, blah, blah. But that's if, and we don't operate like that, So authors as well, some authors are like, if I want to write a book, I would do a great job. My book would sell because I have all these credentials behind me.
Yeah.
I wouldn't agree because that's still an if, right? Why don't you try it? So and then on the other extreme, there are the newer authors, the younger ones who say things like, if I have a doctorate in this subject, I would do a good job. If I have experience like the other guy, I would do a good job. But again, that's it, So stop saying if and just do it. Just do it. This is experience it for yourself, and the best way to learn, in my opinion, is to do. And if there are mistakes, then learn from there. But the best way to learn is by doing, not by thinking, not by saying if, Yeah.
All right, thanks, Ben. Okay, so I do have a question for you. So let's say if you have uncovered a good idea from this author, okay, but this author, like what you have mentioned, belongs to the second profile of many ifs, the younger ones, are fearful of doing. So what is your advice to them, or how do you coach them to step out of, I would say, the so-called comfort zone, okay, and to put their idea to the publisher through you?
Well, I would say, like Nike does, just do it. Just do it. Really, there is no two ways about it. Don't. Okay, a little sidetrack, but related. I'm an avid runner myself. I love to run, and again, same thing. A lot of people say if I can do 5 kilometers, I can do 10 kilometers. If I can do this, I can. No. Don't just do it. Just do it. Approach someone in a publisher. You can come to me. You can go to the publisher direct, and tell them, I have this idea. I want to write this. How do I proceed? And but one very important word of advice also is be prepared for hard work. All right, writing is not easy.
Yeah.
Finish. Not just I finished a series. Q3 of last year, and I started writing another new series. I'm in the midst of it now. Writing is not easy, so please set aside time to write. Don't think that you can write, in after your teaching, after your other responsibilities, you have 30 minutes every night to write. No, that doesn't work. Set aside some quality time to write. I think Jeff, you went through the experience.
Yeah. Later on, we'll talk more about that during case study.
Yeah.
Okay, great. Okay, so Ben, thanks for sharing about the if part. So we have a live audience who is asking a question. So Sally down here, how do tutors get started in publishing? That's the first question. Let's break down the question. Number two, do we have to come out with a sample chapter? Do we need a portfolio? Who do we contact? A publisher or an editor? Wow, that's quite a bit of question. So maybe Ben, okay, we start with the first one. How do tutors get started in publishing first?
Okay, well, you get started by approaching a publisher.
Okay.
Okay, actually, it's good to say that you approach a publisher prepared. So don't just go to a publisher and say, I can do this, I can do that. But yes, it's related to the second question. Come with a sample chapter. Because a sample chapter will tell a lot about what you have in mind. You can describe to the cows come home, but publishers will not understand sometimes what you have in mind. So have a sample chapter, and that pretty much conveys your message. So make sure your sample chapter includes all the features that you want to work into your book, so that you don't say after that, oh, that's a feature I want, but it's not in this chapter. No, work all your features into your chapter. Yeah. Do you need a portfolio of work? I personally, again, this differs from publisher to publisher, but personally, I wouldn't spend too much of my energy on this. Yeah, worksheets, yeah, actually, no, I wouldn't. Yeah. And who do we first contact a publisher? Okay, a publisher, right? It really depends. So in a publishing house, there are many departments, right? So the editor is part of a publishing house. Yeah. So you could approach the publisher. You could approach the commissioning editor, the acquisitions people in the publishing company, or you could approach the boss if it's a smaller publisher. Right. So these are people you could approach. Sometimes, or you can even just write into their general, what we call it, email, right? The inquiries, yeah, for the publisher. You could. What happens is sometimes some of these emails they get routed to me. The publisher will forward the email to me and say, Ben, somebody here wants to write something. Would you like to follow up with this? So yeah, you just approach the publisher. You could come to me as well. Yeah, so this is how you can get started. But like I said, please be prepared. I have met many tutors who want to get started, but basically they were not prepared. Right? So I mentioned that learning books was started in 2017, right? So when I first started, I gave a big shout out. Anybody who's interested in writing, and there were quite a lot of people who came to me and they were like, I want to write, And I can tell you that, and I started a WhatsApp chat group at that time when I first started, 2017. And I can tell you this, Jeff, until today, what are we, 2021?
Yeah.
There are still some in that chat group who have not started a single project. 3 years, 4 years.
Wow.
So basically, you have to be ready. You have to be ready for the hard work. You have to be really ready to carve out some big chunk of time. But don't just have the intention. I know you have the knowledge and you have the intention, but do you have the time? That's a good question to ask yourself.
It's about the execution, right? Having an idea is ideas are worthless without execution. In my own opinion.
Yes.
Yeah.
Exactly.